Hello everyone! In this video, we're going to see how to insert doors and windows into our project. I've already created a project with 2 rooms, and I usually prefer working in the 2D view, keeping the 3D view at the top. Of course, you can do the opposite if you like. You can have 2D at the top and 3D at the bottom. You can switch between views using the Switch to 3D button, or from here with 2D. Personally, I always work with 2D in the main screen. Now we're in the Build section, where we have all the options for creating a room. Let's go to Door, and here we see different types: single door, double door, sliding door, and more. I'll click on Single Door, and immediately the software lets me place it somewhere in the project. Be careful. If the selection turns red, it means there's an error. This happens, for example, if I try to place the door in empty space. But of course, a door must go into a wall. The software already provides precise parameters and measurements, so it's easy to position it correctly. Now, if I want the door to be exactly 100 centimeters from the wall, I could have set it while moving it, or I can do it afterward more precisely by typing the number and pressing Enter. This way, the door is perfectly positioned, and we can immediately see it in 3D at the top right. Once the door is placed, I can select it to see its width, height, and elevation from the floor. The depth is automatically set to match the wall thickness. If I want to change the width from 91 centimeters to 95, I simply type in the new value and press Enter. The same goes for height. If I need it to be 220 centimeters, I can adjust it here manually. Clicking on the door also brings up a black menu with several options. From here, I can replace the door, change the material, flip it to adjust the opening direction, or even duplicate it. The duplicate function is super useful when you need multiple doors with the same dimensions and style. Just click on Duplicate, and I can place identical doors elsewhere in my project. Another useful function is locking the door. Once all the parameters and measurements are set, I can lock it so it won't accidentally move. If I ever need to change it later, I'll have to delete it and insert a new one. This is great when working on a complex project with many objects. It prevents unwanted adjustments that could mess up the room's dimensions. There's also a pass-through material option, which is pretty interesting. Once a door is inserted, I can choose whether the floor material continues through the doorway or changes to match the adjacent room. To do this, I click on the door, switch from Parameters to Style, and find the pass-through material setting. Now, let's talk about the frame and choose to have it or remove it completely. If I keep the frame, I can modify its style and material. There's a list of different frame styles, and once I select one, a menu appears with options for customizing it. Here, I can change its material separately from the door itself. Maybe I want a wooden door with a metal frame, for example. It's also possible to adjust the frame on each side of the wall. This means that the frame on the interior of the room, side A, can be different from the frame on the exterior, side B. If I remove the B side frame, the door will have a frame only on one side. I can also adjust the width and the thickness separately for each side. Another interesting feature we can use is material replacement, available in the black toolbar. To do this, simply select the door and click on Replace Material. A new screen will open, displaying the selected object. By clicking on it, we can modify the material as we prefer. In the case of doors, we can also select the handle and apply a different material from the default one. On the right side, as always, we have a set of specific parameters that we can adjust to further customize the element. Once we've made the changes, we just need to save, and the program will ask if we want to apply the same modifications to the door jambs. When opening the available texture catalogue, we can choose between standard textures and premium ones, which are included in the Tilelook 3D home-based subscription. You can also upload your own materials in the designated section. In addition to modifying materials, we can also access the 3D model catalogue, which I can find in Decorate, Structure. Here, we have access to a wide range of doors, categorized by type, which can be quickly added to our project. Once we've placed the one we're interested in, we can modify it just as we've seen so far. A particularly interesting option is the parametric doors, which offer more customization options compared to standard ones. For example, we can adjust the interior and exterior handles, tailoring them to our needs. Now, let's go back to the Build section and add a simple window. The modification process remains the same, and the tools available in the black toolbar are identical, except for the opening function, which is only available for doors in the 3D view. One useful feature when working with windows is the ability to adjust the thickness of the windowsill, both on the interior and exterior sides. I also encourage you to explore bay windows, available in a wide variety of options within the catalogue. Try out different options and have fun designing.